Hello farmers, and welcome again to the Kenyan Farmer channel. Today I will be discussing some basic mathematics that, in my opinion, I think a farmer needs to learn. Maths, it's stubborn. It follows you everywhere like your own shadow. Usijali, sio eti nilipenda hesabu sana hata shuleni. So you can be sure I will not bring complicated formulas or concepts. However, I somehow feel that this knowledge is still important. It helps a farmer plan better, be more efficient, and also save some money. Ni ujuzi ambao unaweza kusaidia kusuluhisha mambo mengi tu shambani. I think I will try and show how to calculate the number of poles, yani vikingi, needed for fencing. And then I'll show how to calculate plant population. I think that will be enough for this short video. If you get the concept, then I'm okay. And now our first simple problem. You may have wanted to fence your farm and you wanted to budget for the project. Now, you know that fencing is not cheap in Kenya. A medium concrete post can cost you around 1,500 Kenya shillings a piece. If you are lucky to get the best quality, then the biggest ones can almost cost like twice the price. And so, you need a good estimate of the materials. Let's try our first example. How many posts do you need for a distance of 15 meters at a spacing of 5 meters? That's simple, huh? You can try it. The formula is the distance to be covered divided by the spacing. And don't forget to add 1. Please don't forget. The answer you'll get is 4, not 3, of course. This formula will always work if the area you are fencing is not enclosed. In most farms, you will need to leave an entry if you are fencing. That's the gate. Also, if the area you are fencing will be enclosed, then you don't need to add the 1 in the formula. Like, let's imagine a different scenario. Imagine you have a dam with a perimeter of 16 meters and you want to fence with a spacing of like 4 meters between the posts. How many posts will you use? In this example, you will not need to add 1. You'll just get 4 directly. The next problem in the farm is, I want to estimate the tomato population in my greenhouse. The greenhouse has 6 beds, and each bed has a pair of drip lines, each 30 meters long. The emitter spacing is 30 centimeters, which is still the plant spacing. So, how do you calculate this? Let's see. The formula I use may not apply in your case because it depends on how the drip lines were terminated on both ends. You can see the last 2 emitters are not utilized by the plants, but the mini-valve and the plug. I am the one who installs my system, and so this is how I do it. In your case, that could be different. If we use the formula we used for fencing post, then it's obvious we have to subtract the 2 emitters in this case. I hope you have understood. By doing this, we get the number of plants per drip line to be 99 plants. And since we have 2 drip lines per bed, the number of plants per bed is 198 plants. Finally, as we had said, we have 6 beds in the greenhouse. So the total plant population becomes 1,188 plants. Now, once again, this formula will depend on your design. At the end of the day, you need a good estimate. Farmers in Kenya who deal with export of flowers appreciate what I am talking about. You see, they grow plants, and the farmers are required to pay royalties to the owner of the variety. These are the breeders. It is paid per plant. You can imagine a farmer growing hectares of a variety have to pay a significant amount. Even if it's like 15 shillings per plant per year, it still adds up. And so it makes sense to pay for what is exactly in the field. Else, you get into legal and financial challenges. Next challenge. I want to plant oranges in my farm, or even lemons. I have a small area of 6 by 10. That's 60 meters square. And I want to use a spacing of 2 meters within plants and 2 meters between the rows, 2 by 2. How many plants can I fit in that area? The standard formula used in calculating plant population in such a case is area divided by the product of the row and plant spacing. When you do this, you get 15 plants, and sure enough, that's what you can plant there. Another example, which I hope will be more intuitive. I want to plant cabbage in a small plot of 4 by 2 meters. That's 8 meters square. I plan to use 50 centimeters within the plants and 1 meter between the rows. If I use the standard formula, I will get that 16 plants will fit in that area. Now, let's try and see if the first formula that we used when fencing can be used here. If we were to do fencing on the same area with the same dimensions and spacings, then the poles used would have been 9 poles. But our interest when planting is not the poles, but the number of spaces. Can you see? And so we should not add 1 in the formula. And so we have 8 spaces along the length. The same idea will apply along the width. Finally, the population will be the product of the new dimensions. That is 16 plants, just as we found out when using the standard formula. You can go out in the field and try. You will be surprised that the spacings will be still as expected. Everything falls into place. I hope I did not confuse someone. Oh, and before I forget, stick to the same units when applying formulas. If you decide centimeters, then every unit has to be in centimeters. If you use meters everywhere. Be uniform. It's not good to assume, you know. And now, finally, the last example with a crop that most Kenyans can relate to. A crop that at times takes a center stage in Kenyan politics. Maize. A farmer wants to plant maize in an area of 1 hectare with spacing of 45 centimeters within the line and 60 centimeters between the rows. What will be the plant population? Try it out. Let's see if you can do it. We are keenly watching your steps. Anyway, using the formula, we get that 7,037 plants. 1 hectare is approximately 10,000 square meters. Now, what if a farmer decides to plant 3 seeds per hole? or rather per station. That will give so much plants. Well, performance at this rate may be a different question. Okay, now I know you know how to do basic calculations at the farm. Next time, when I talk about seed rate, I will be referring to this video from time to time. Should I give you something to think about? Yeah, why not? A typical problem at the farm. A farmer wants to pipe water from the river to his home, a distance of half a kilometer. He decides to use PVC piping. Each PVC pipe is 20 feet and it costs 150 Kenya shillings. The farmer needs to hire men to dig a trench to install the piping. The men charge him 100 shillings per meter to do the work. That's both digging and burying. How much money should the farmer budget for? Try this one out and jog your mind. I think that's enough for this video. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. God bless you and see you in the next video.